The global certification industry is worth $54 billion, and I'm part of it. I built CloudLearn, I sell practice exams, hands-on labs, and I have guided so many people through certification paths. And I almost hold 10 plus certification myself. So when I tell you that some of the advice you are hearing about certification is wrong, I'm not saying it from sideline. I'm in this. And honestly, some of what I'm about to say makes me a little uncomfortable too. Here's what the data actually says. The salary premium for cloud certification is shrinking. The gap between Azure and AWS certification professionals was 8 to 12 in 2023. In 2026 alone, it's about 2 to 4%. The premium is compressing. Meanwhile, 80% of the hiring managers are now saying they prioritize hands-on experience over certification alone. That's almost 80%. It's not a minor number. That's the market telling you something. And here's the breakdown that really got me. Experience accounts for 40% of the salary, location is 25%, the company size and type is 15%, and certification, they do matter, but they matter less than almost everything else on your resume. Cloud formation, the fundamental cert, your AZ900, your CFL-C02, they don't really differentiate anymore. A few years ago, you would have AZ900 on your resume and that would mean something. It actually showed initiative. Now it's just a table stakes. You might as well just put, you can use computer. Even at associate level, AZ104, the exam have probably helped more people study for than any other. There are about 78,000 jobs posting that mention it. That sounds great until you realize what it means. It means every other candidate has it too. When everyone has the same credentials, nobody has an edge. And here's the part that's hard for me to even say it out loud. We are optimized around helping people pass the exam, not around helping people do the job. And those two are not same things. They have never been the same thing. But we have spent last decade pretending they are. The entire pipeline, study the material, take the practice exam, pass the exam, update your LinkedIn, apply for a job. We almost sold that pipeline to millions of people and students. And it genuinely used to work. 5 years ago, an AZ104 opened door to a lot of exams. 3 years ago, AZ305 will get you an interview. And now employers are sitting across the table from the candidates who have AZ305 and 104 and asking the questions like, hey, you have this, but what have you actually built? And the honest answer is for a lot of people is there's nothing. Microsoft knows this, by the way, and they have been quietly shifting their certification strategy away from theoretical fundamental towards role-aligned hands-on validation certifications. They see what the hiring data says. The question is whether the rest of the industry is willing to follow or whether we keep selling the old pipeline just because it's easier and the money is good. The way I think about this is a certification is a driver license. You need one to get on the road. Nobody's saying you shouldn't have one, but nobody hires a taxi driver because they have a license. They hire them because they know all the streets, and when the traffic is backed up, they know the back door. The license is minimum. Knowing the street is valuable. But right now, we have about $54 billion industry optimized around teaching people how to pass the driving test, while every single employer out there is looking for actual skills and actual experience on how to drive and what path to follow. I spent 4 years at a training company building hands-on lab, hands-on scenario where you actually configure VNets, subnets, or VMs and all those things in cloud, where you actually break the deployment and fix it, and where you mess up the NSG rules and watch the traffic get blocked and figure out all the way on how to fix it. The exam is the license. CloudLearn, the platform I built, is trying to be both, and that's why we built labs, not just question banks. But I would be lying if I say industry as a whole has made this shift. Most of it is still selling licenses. And I see this constantly. I've trained so many people and I've watched them study, pass the exam, and then struggle in the actual environments. People can have 5 or 10 certifications and who can't even troubleshoot a failed deployment. People who can recite Azure network theory but can't even configure a VNet pairing that actually works in production. And people who know conditional access policies because they have memorized the exam objective, but they have never built a policy from scratch in a tenant where one mistake can lock out more than 500 users. And the thing is, it's not their fault. They did exactly what we told them to do. We sold them the pipeline, and I sold them the pipeline as well. And now employers are saying that's not enough. And the person who followed the instruction, person who trusted the system, they are the one getting rejections. It's not the training company, it's not the certification vendor, and it's not me. It's the student. That keeps me up at night because I built a business around helping people pass exam, and I'm watching market tell a different story. And you know what the multi-cloud data says? People certified in both Azure and AWS are earning about 195K to 210K. Single cloud professionals are about 175 to 180K. So even the certification market itself is saying that one certification is not enough. You need 2 or 3 or maybe more. When someone says maybe the answer isn't more certification and maybe the answer is building something real, and here's the part that really gets me. One area where certification premiums are actually growing is security. Cloud security certs deliver 25% salary premium. You know why? Because people can't fake security. You can't memorize your way into SOC 2 audit. You can't really pass a practice test and then wing it when breach happens at 2 a.m. Some of the common certifications are OWASP and OSCP. Security is one domain where exams and jobs still overlap because the consequences of not knowing are too severe. And that tells you everything about why other certifications are losing their edge. The further the exam is from the actual work, the less it matters. Look, I'm not saying certifications are dead, and I'm not going to sit here with 10 plus certifications and certification platform and tell you not to get certified. That would be ridiculous. But I'm saying this, if you're relying on certification to be the thing that gets you hired, you are operating on wrong grounds. Certification are a starting line, they were always a starting line. But somewhere along the way, industry started to act like they were the finish line, and the market has corrected on it. The people I've seen get hired in the last year, once you actually land the role, they have the certs and a portfolio. They have AZ-104, they have GitHub repo with Terraform modules because they actually wrote them, and they have 305 and a story about migration they did. So even if it's in their own home lab, they understand the concepts with the hands-on stuff. The certification gets your resume past the filter, but experience is what actually gets you past the interview. You need both, but we have been overselling one and underselling the other one. And that's entirely on the training industry itself. So I'm trying to fix it. That's why I built CloudLearn, who has not just labs but also practice exams. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure the whole industry is going to follow because exams are easier to sell than experience. And the $54 billion is a lot of incentive to keep things the way they are. And I'm not sure what the next 5 year looks like for this industry. Maybe I'm wrong about all of this. But I know what I'm seeing in the hiring room and the client environments. And what I'm seeing doesn't really match what we are selling. So if you have got a certification and you're struggling to land a role, I want to hear your story. Because I think there's a lot of people who are going through this and nobody in the training space is willing to say it out loud. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.